To be very honest, 2020 has been one of the toughest years, not only for me, but for basically everyone here on this planet. We've faced losses, have had to adapt to a new normal, and with that has come a lot of pain and rough times. But I sought out to find the positive in this period and spoke to folks I knew to see how they were dealing with the pandemic. Welcome to the COVID Diaries. All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome to my channel. My name's Hafeezat. You know the deal. You know what I do. And today I have my friend Joe Andruzzi. So Joe, just please a little bit about yourself.
Well, hi, Hafeezat's channel. Oh my God, it's my debut. I'm so excited.
I know.
Also, loved your intro. You killed it. My name's Joe Andruzzi. I am a content creator studying media studies and production at Temple University. And I'm a junior, which is crazy to even think about. I feel like we were just in our orientation group like yesterday.
Yeah, that's how Joe and I met.
Yeah.
It seems like a fever dream now when you think about it, because it seems like so close, but also it's really far away too. That's wild.
Yeah, I feel like I blinked and now I'm here. And I feel like also that's just how this year has been. Like so much has happened this year, but yet somehow it feels like I blinked and it happened, if that makes any sense.
No, 100%. So where were you the day that quarantine was announced back in March?
It's actually funny, when I read this question, I was like, I love how I know exactly where I was when, like, it's kind of scary. I'm like, how do I know exactly where I was, what I was doing when I got...
monumental moment, I think.
Yeah, and you're referring to like when I knew that Temple was shutting down?
Yeah, like when Temple was shutting down, when they announced like, oh, people are gonna be going back home, like we gotta start putting people inside, all of those things.
Yeah, so I don't remember where I was coming from, but I was walking into my building and I was waiting for the elevator. And I found out from my mom, actually, because I remember this was just like when we started hearing about the virus. It's also crazy to think about how little we knew back then. Like we knew nothing about it. And then all of a sudden it kind of just hit us out of nowhere and now we're here. But I was waiting for the elevator and I got a text from my mom saying that Temple was closing down and that I have to pack up. And I was so frustrated when she texted me that, because I was like, I knew she wanted to see me. Like she wanted me to be home, but like selfishly, I wanted to stay where I was. I was like, I don't want to go back. I literally just came back here. It was like a week after spring break, I believe. Yeah. It was like, I literally just got back on campus. And it's funny because I was home for spring break and so many people like went to different places and I was like so jealous. And I was like, I literally the day before I left to go back to school from spring break, I was thinking like, honestly, I wouldn't mind being here for like another week. And then that happened. And I was like, wow, I think I wish this upon myself. I'm like, did I do that? Like,
you caused quarantine, Joe.
No, literally.
We all have to blame you. This is your fault. But yeah, no, I feel you. When I heard that, I was very grateful because I was living off campus at the time. I wasn't living on campus. So my parents initially, I think they wanted me to come home, but after I explained to them that I wouldn't be able to work efficiently while I was home, they allowed me to stay in my apartment. And I also like implored to my dad, I was like, you don't want to be paying $800 a month for me to not be at the place that you're paying for, do you, sir? And he's like, no. I was like, yeah. So that was
that makes complete sense.
Yeah, it was such a like the quickness that like people had to kind of like gather themselves and figure out where they were gonna go and what they were gonna do within like the next like 72 hours and such. That panic was a lot. Like it was very jarring to watch a little bit.
Yeah, no, I remember just being like what's happening? Like it was such a unique experience that like none of us have been through.
None of us.
And like no one knew like what to do. I remember I was thinking, I just want to like document everything. Like I just want to like film everything, because I literally just got my student blogger position with Temple and like making videos for them. And I was like, oh, well, what am I gonna do now? I remember thinking about that. Like, am I gonna still get to do that for them? And just trying to understand what the future was gonna hold for all of us.
Yeah, 100%. All that uncertainty really just kind of like took me for a spin. I don't like uncertainty. I don't like change.
Same.
I'm a very anxious person. It makes me sweat. I don't like it. So
Retweet,
all of that happened, but at least I knew that there was other people around me witnessing it, so because it wasn't like, oh, I'm just making all of this up in my own head,
Mhm.
like we're all dealing with all of this right now, so I felt a bit less alone with that. Um, but besides that, like, what were your initial reactions to like the pandemic overall? Like, how did you feel about it?
I guess, like, at what time point? Like, when I found out that we were going back home?
Like around that time when you found out there
Okay.
was even a pandemic that was going on, like,
Okay. Yeah, I honestly, I don't remember when I, like, first heard about it. Like, honestly, like, the first or, like, earliest memory that I can think of, like, when I was thinking about it was in my persuasive writing class.
mm,
Our professor actually, like, brought it up on the screen, and we were talking about it, and, um, just, like, what's happening. I remember, like, literally, it was her also learning with us, and, like, her talking to us, like, "Well, we don't know what's gonna happen with classes, like, what do you guys think?" Like, making it more of, like, a class discussion of, like, what
mm,
you think, like, the next steps forward are gonna be. But for my, like, initial reaction, I I didn't understand it. I think I had the same reaction that everyone had. It was just like, "What is this?" No, seriously, because, like, none of us have been through this situation.
yeah, it's literally like
Um
history in the making. I keep thinking of that. Like,
mhm.
it's wild.
Yeah, it was just, like, I just didn't understand it. I didn't understand the severity of it at all. I don't think any of us did it because it wasn't even really that severe yet, but it was just the uncertainty. It was just not knowing what was happening, what was going to happen, just kind of being like, honestly, I was like, I just want to be on campus. Like, I want to stay
Mm,
here. Like, I don't want to go back home. I just got back here. Like, I
yeah,
only have a few more years of this. I really want this. Selfishly, I really wanted to just stay here before I knew, before everything else happened that made it like, okay, well, now I understand why things are shut down. It
yeah.
makes sense to.
And there's nothing wrong with that because it's not only
Hmm.
just like I wouldn't consider it selfish. I think it's like really just like looking out for yourself. And there's nothing
Hmm.
wrong with that, especially when you know where you thrive the best and where you are at your best.
Hmm.
And like I know that for me personally, is just being here, being near school and stuff, being around my friends and whatnot. Like I love being home. I love having like my parents and my siblings around me. But at the same time, I become like really like lethargic and lazy, and I'm like not doing as much as I want to do because there's not enough liberties. So I get that 100% selfishly wanting things to kind of like stay the same. And I think everybody wanted that because again, like you just said it, like we didn't know what was going on. We've never
Hmm.
experienced this before. So you want to like grasp onto like normalcy as much as possible.
No,
Um,
absolutely.
yeah. So like now, 9 months later, almost 10 months later, this is like middle of December where we're filming
Mhm,
this. How do
mhm.
you feel now about this whole pandemic situation?
It's when I was looking at these questions and I was, like, thinking about it, it's so crazy to think about much time has happened how much time has happened, how much time has passed.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, genuinely, it's the weirdest thing because like I said earlier, it feels like I blinked and this year went by. But at the same time, it feels like so much has happened. Like so much has happened. And now I feel like I've gotten to the point where I'm more educated on the pandemic. I'm, more educated on like what's happening, how different people are like responding to it. Um, and I don't know. I think at this point I understand the severity of it. I'm doing my part in trying to protect not only myself but my friends and my especially my family because everyone in my house is high risk, so I have to be really careful about who I
Yeah.
see. But yeah, I'm just hanging in there. I definitely went through like a what is it called? Like a quarter life crisis in the summer, genuinely, because I was stuck in the house. I couldn't leave. I couldn't see anybody. It was really hard, honestly. I was getting very bored. I couldn't go to work. I had no sense of normalcy. And I like questioned my major. I questioned what I was doing. Like, is this what I'm supposed to be doing? Like, just like thinking like, I'm gonna have to pay my loans back. Am I gonna get a job when I graduate? Like,
Oh
just
yeah.
like all of like the general anxiety, like it was just coming down and it was really bad. But I'm happy I went through that now because now I'm more composed and I'm back to, the right headspace and just being
Yeah.
like, this is the situation. Like, there's nothing you can control about it. All you can do is try to keep yourself and your family safe. I don't think anyone should have. See, I'm someone who sets very high expectations for myself, and I think it's important right now to allow yourself to take a break and
Yeah.
to allow yourself to just relax and understand that you have no control of the situation. So why be hard on yourself for, not doing the best academically or professionally, or, not doing things. It's not a normal time. So you can't
Not a normal
you
time.
can't like treat yourself as if it is, and
Yeah.
that things are your fault when it's not. It's just a situation. So I feel like now I'm at the point where I'm just relaxing. I'm here trying to protect my family, and just trying to spread love and spread positivity like on social media, and just because I think there's so much negativity right now and a lot of people are down in the dumps, and just trying to make people happy and do my part.
Yeah. Three things. So one, when you said coming down, immediately Rain on Me came in my head. And I was like, I know you know. So I was just like, I just started singing the song in my head. So it's the first thing.
I love that. That
Uh,
was that was my top song of 2020.
really?
Yes, it's so embarrassing, but it's only because I had it like playing on my Alexa all day the day it came out.
The second thing is like, I agree, especially right now, it's very, very pertinent that we do our best to keep people safe, even though like, it's not necessarily solely supposed to be on us. Like
Mm-hmm.
obviously, like hello government, but I'm not gonna get into that. But now we have like the vaccines. They're
Mm.
coming through, they're rolling through. I really encourage folks to take it. I obviously know there's like some skepticism around the vaccines and whatnot, but like there's people who are expressing, why it's the best route to take and whatnot. So once you get the opportunity to take it, you should take it. So that's my little PSA right there. And then also like I agree with you in terms of like this is not a normal time, so we shouldn't be treating ourselves as normal, because I was talking to a friend about this the other day because he wrote on his story, it's funny how I had like 3 jobs, going to school full time, all these things, and like, I still survived, and now I'm in a pandemic and I can't do any of that. And I was like, wow,
Mm-hmm.
at me. And
Mm-hmm.
it's true. Like I'm really trying to hold myself up to standards that I was at before the pandemic hit, that while they weren't healthy, I was still able to like, make the best of them. And now that I'm trying to replicate that in a different situation, it's just not working. It's not
Mm-hmm.
working at all. And I'm like finally coming to terms with that, trying to slow down a bit more. I say that as I've planned out like videos for like the next 3 months, but it's okay.
Hey,
So
hey, snaps to you, because a lot of people can't do that. I can't do that genuinely. I've just ended my semester 3 or 4 days ago, and I've been doing absolutely nothing, and I'm loving
period.
it.
I
I'm
love
loving
that.
it. I honestly, it's really hard to do anything creatively. Like it's hard to make plans and to do things when everything outside is so depressing and everything's down and it's not normal. So I'm taking this week, since I'm now done school. I'm taking a moment to kind of just allow myself to relax and chill, and then revisit my creative things when I'm ready, and I'm ready to put that out into the universe.
Yeah, I know like right now for me, like I have a lot of things planned out because I'm trying to just like get them like up scheduled out of the way, and then I can like
Mm-hmm.
focus on other things because I have a lot of free time on my hands right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I know like I think it might be hard for me to like jump back in on it just because that's how I am. But this week I've kind of just like let myself to be a bit more relaxed. I
Mm-hmm.
finished my finals a couple of days ago, so like woo, we're done. I passed. It's great. And speaking of like finals, like how was this semester like ending for you like overall?
I remember thinking when I actually made a to-do. I love making to-do lists. Like that's like one thing I love to do. It's like my number one organization tip. Like just having like one of those like little yellow notepads with the lines, and like just
Yeah.
making little, it's the best way for me to know, like just to see visually what I need to get done. And it like gives you like that little bit of serotonin when you get to check off like one thing that you do. But when I made that list and I saw how much I had to do, I was kind of like, oh God, like it was a lot. I did have a lot of work that I had to do to finish the semester. But at the same time, like I know it's nothing that I can't get done, and it's something I haven't done before. So I was like, just got to get through it, just got to finish all these things, and I'll be fine.
Yeah.
And that's what happened. I got everything done. We got those final projects in, those final papers, and I'm academically doing the best I've ever done, which is
Wow.
very weird. No, it's very strange. Thank you, but it like no, it doesn't make sense. It
It does
really
make
doesn't
sense.
make sense, because this is what the most challenging semester that I've ever
Yeah.
had.
My
Yet
friend, she
somehow,
said, I'm sorry to cut you off.
oh no,
Continue.
you're good. Go.
She was like, "Oh yeah, I ended my semester at a 3.9," and I was just like, "In a pandemic, in a panoramic."
Mhm. No, literally.
Like, like props to you. Like, so
Mhm.
congrats to that. Like, but it
Thank you.
really, it's wild. Like you think, and then maybe that like goes to show like, you know, did you push yourself too hard, or maybe like you pushed yourself enough, or like, because do you feel as if you were like I guess kind to yourself with the semester when it came to like assignments and like maybe like yeah.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, well, the thing is, like, and this is another reason why I was questioning my major this summer. I think on top of the added pressure of the world being the world, I think this is why I like mentally was like, am I doing the right thing? Because honestly, I haven't felt that challenged academically
Mm-hmm.
throughout my college experience. And I don't want this to come across as me like thinking I'm like the smartest, because I don't think I'm the smartest person at all. It's just it's one of those things where if I'm not being challenged, I'm questioning what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
And like it's been fairly easy for me to maintain pretty good grades. And I don't know if it's like my luck. I just get lucky with specific professors that don't give that much work. But I don't know. There's been times where I'm like, am I doing the right thing? Like, is it because I enjoy what I'm doing and I love it so much that I'm able to do so well? And I think there's room for me to be challenged, or like, is this too easy for me and I need to find like something else to do?
Yeah.
And after speaking with a counselor this summer, she told me, it was like, well, do you think there's room to be challenged in what you're taking? And I was like, absolutely. I could think of how it could be harder. And she's like, well, then there you go. You're doing well in something that you enjoy and you see that there's room for growth and improvement. So why change that? Like if you're enjoying what
Yeah.
you're doing and you're doing great,
What's the
like
problem?
what's the problem? But that's just me creating problems.
Yeah.
That's like
Why
my
are you so
anxiety being
loud?
like, you're not doing this. You're not doing this.
It's so loud right now. Like it's not even
No,
funny.
no,
Like
literally.
this is a gem, y'all. Write this down. If something's going well for you and it's
Keep doing it.
easy, keep doing it. Don't
You're in
cause
the right place.
stress. Don't cause stress
Yes.
for yourself. Why would you do that to yourself? Don't do that. Don't
Yes.
be me. Don't be him. Don't do that.
No, don't be us.
Because imagine like Joe changing his major, then all of a sudden, I think he'd be
I wouldn't
miserable.
like it.
He'd be
I
absolutely
don't think
miserable.
and I was talking to like my counselor about that. I was like, she's like, would you even like it? I'm like, well, because I was considering PR, because I was like, oh, I want to be Olivia Pope. I want to like, be like, I'm like, I could do that. Like they get like a decent starting pay. Like thinking about my loans, like I just literally, and like that's the worst part, is that why am I thinking, I should be thinking, what am I going to do that's going to make me happy? Now,
Yeah.
what is going to give me the most amount of money so I can pay off my loans as fast as possible? I like that shouldn't be what my thought is when I'm pursuing my education and like what I want to do. I shouldn't be thinking, how am I going to pay back my loans? What job is going to give me the best salary to pay? Like that's the wrong way to be thinking.
Yeah.
And that's how I was thinking. And I realized I'm like, I'm happy with what I'm doing. I love what I'm doing. And why change that? Like
Yeah.
I'm doing great with what I'm doing. I'm getting great experience in what I'm doing. Like let me just stick to this. And I think going back to your question after I just rambled for 4 hours, because that's what I do. Hi, I'm Joe. I ramble about things for hours.
This is why we're
Uh,
friends. It's
okay.
okay.
I forgot we were doing an interview and I'm like, I'm just like going on and on and on.
No,
But
you're
back to your,
dropping gems though, so it's all good.
okay. But going back to what you were saying about just like how I managed to, I guess that was the question, right? It was about like how I was able to get my work done during a pandemic. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so I mean, I've been pretty organized like throughout college. Like I said, using my checklists and my wall calendar. I also praise like doing a color coded wall calendar, keeping a color for each class and whatever. But yeah, I think it's staying organized and then also just keeping a positive mindset. I think that's really important. I think it's really easy, especially right now, to be negative and to get down in the dumps and to not want to do things. And that's completely fair and that's totally fine. I completely like understand people that are going through that. But for me, I try to be as positive, like, and like tell myself like everything's gonna be fine. Just get it done. You're gonna be
Yeah.
fine. Just reassuring yourself so things get done and you continue. Also just thinking like, I'm paying way too much money to be here. I can't be slacking.
Yeah.
Like there's so many other things that are motivating me, like the goals that I have for myself, my mother, like I want to do this for her. And, like I have so many other things that keep me going and keep me motivated, to not allow those thoughts to get loud. Like they're kind of just like, they're there, but I have other things that are louder. Like
Yeah.
you want to get this degree, you have goals, you have aspirations, like don't stop now.
Period.
Like if anything, like if you can, try to work a little harder. Like just like if you can, because right now is a time when it's really challenging for a lot of people. So if you want to make yourself stand out, go the extra mile. But also know at the same time, if you can't, like that's fine because
Yeah.
we're
And
dealing with the
that's the
situation.
thing. And that's what I like, that's what you're saying and how you're
Hmm.
saying it, because there's a lot of toxic positivity going around right
Hmm.
now about like, change your mindset and you're going to be fine. Do this and you're going to be fine. But there's people who are genuinely down and out, whether it's
Hmm.
because they're maybe neurodivergent or maybe it's because like they simply just don't want to do anything, like, hey, me. Um, but like what I will say is I can attest to what you're saying, because literally when I was struggling to finish my finals, but when I literally sat down and I just forced myself to do them, I did them and I passed everything. And then I was like, okay,
Hmm.
Hafeezat, what were you doing crying for no reason for then? Why are you making yourself so anxious for no reason?
Hmm.
And I think it's like, even if you don't want to do anything in a day, if you can do something for like 5 minutes, like,
Hmm.
and that's it, like I completely get that. And I think that's 100% valid. So I really love that. I
Yeah.
love that.
I
So
think it's just doing the best you can. Just do the best you can, and that's all you can do.
all you can do. What are your plans for the spring? Do you have any plans? Anything in terms of like school or like content,
Yeah.
whatever?
So I am coming back this semester. I know there's a lot of people, or I've heard that there's been talk of different students that are planning on taking leave of absences, which I completely understand. It's
Mm-hmm.
a really challenging time. And I think we all, another thing is I think it's very easy to make assumptions on other people's situations from your personal situation. I feel like so many people are so focused on themselves, not intentionally, but they think everything is like the way they experience it, if that makes any sense. Like yes, there's like things that are like outside that are making me down, that are, kind of depressing, but I have so many other things that I'm blessed with and I should be grateful for. Like everyone has different situations. I have a roof over my head. I'm able to not worry about, where I'm going to eat. Like there's certain things where I have to understand, like, even though it's frustrating that I can't go out and hang out with my friends. Like there's people that have real problems and like bigger issues that, you shouldn't let that diminish your situation, but
Mm-hmm.
allow yourself to reflect
Yeah.
on what you have and to kind of just put that into perspective for yourself to be like, okay, like this sucks, but there are a lot of things that I'm blessed with that, I should be grateful for and I shouldn't, try to make it seem like, oh, my situation's the worst or you know what I mean? Does that make
Yeah.
sense?
No, that makes
Yeah.
sense. That makes sense. So like you're gonna come back, gonna do
Hmm.
your classes, all those
Yes.
things. How's
Yeah.
Temple Talk going? We're gonna talk about it a little bit more, but like how's that going for you? Like, do you have any exciting things coming for the spring you could share with
Yeah.
me?
Yeah. So with Temple Talk's doing really great. Surprisingly for like the situation. Me and my co-executive producer Cameron Scrivens, we didn't really know what we were gonna do this summer when we got handed the baton to take on the executive producer roles. We really were looking at each other like, what's gonna happen? Are we gonna be back on campus? Or we had no idea. And neither did Klein. Like we were in talks with like the general managers for TUTV and they were like, we don't know. Like no one knew anything. So then when we found out that we were going to be coming back, but we weren't allowed to film in the studio, we were kind of like, okay, so I guess we're going to have to try to do a Zoom show. And then we tried different formats, we tried different things, and ultimately we got it to where it is now, where we conduct our main segments, or not our main segments, I'm sorry, but our like breakdown sections. And then with our guests, we do everything through Zoom. And then if we can, earlier on when it wasn't so bad outside, we were able to go to specific businesses that were practicing safety protocols and highlight them. But then we started doing more like vlog style segments where we had like Sarah do cooking, or our correspondent Olivia, where she did like a fall fashion segment from home. So that's actually great because it also shows more personable content from our talent and
Yeah.
makes it a little bit more personal, and also to show our viewers that we're all in this together, like we're all dealing with a situation the same. But I'm really proud of it. I'm really proud of the work me and Cameron have done. I think, and
Yay.
our entire team. Honestly, we wouldn't be able to do anything if it wasn't for our great team. Like we
Yeah.
were very lucky to get the people that we have this year, for our director board to even just our team members. I am very impressed with the freshmen that took initiative when like it's so hard to right now. Like, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, we did have a drop in people coming to like our general body meetings. And then even like the virtual client fest, we didn't really have that many people that came, which I totally understand. It's hard. It's hard to find those things, especially right now. And also to not only just find them physically, but also mentally to have the motivation to do
Go.
clubs and to do
Yeah.
organizations right now, you know? A lot of people probably think, well, it's not happening. I can't physically go there, so it's not, you know, a thing. So me and Cameron have tried our best to promote the show and to, you know, put it out there to be like, hey guys, if you want to join, like we're still doing our things, like join our Zoom meetings. But yeah, I'm really impressed with the freshmen that we do, the new people that we had join our team this semester. I'm very proud of them, and like I think the initiative speaks volumes to their character and to their work ethic. And I think, you know, we have some potential new directors and executives when, you know, me and Cameron go to move on. I'm very grateful to have our team and
Yeah.
that's made the season as good as it's been so far. But yeah, we plan on returning in the spring and continuing with our season 8. And yeah.
That's exciting. And speaking of that, like you mentioned that you are the executive producer. So like tell me a little bit about that journey, how you end up getting into Temple Talk, into that role, and like how has that been for you in like your personal journey within like media and content creation?
Yeah, it's crazy. When I think of Temple, like university, I immediately think of Temple Talk because it's been such a huge part of my entire college experience. I started as a producer my freshman year. I remember I was scared to go to my first meeting because I didn't want to go alone, and I was trying to get a friend to come with me. I was like, "Can someone please come with me to this meeting across campus? I don't know where I'm going. I don't want to be by myself." Like my anxiety was like, oh, I can't do that. I seem very boisterous sometimes and like very like out there, but like I can be very reserved and like shy. And I was like, I don't want to go by myself. Like, can someone please come with me? And no one wanted to come with me. So I was like, okay, well, I really want to do this. So I'm just gonna suck it up and do it. And I went to the meeting by myself and I signed up to be a producer. I worked on 6 segments that semester. I got as close as I could to Jenna, who was a director of production, and then applied to take over her position when she became executive producer, and then became the director of production, running the department, which was really cool to take on that leadership position and to see how to lead as a director of production, like in with content creation, and how to not only communicate well with the team, but also be an effective leader. That experience really taught me a lot about delegating tasks and teaching people how to properly film with the cameras, how to properly edit, how like what the best export formats are, just the whole, you know. And then also on top of that, maintaining like a team relationship where everyone feels close and reinforcing people when they do good things. So, you know, they feel like, okay, I'm contributing, I'm doing something. There's so many elements to being a leader that like I didn't think about when I was a producer. And then even executive producer, like I'm still learning things
Yeah.
about being a leader and how to be an effective leader to where, you know, I'm encouraging our team, making them feel like they're contributing something and trying to make the experience as best as I can for them. But it's been really incredible and I'm really grateful. I've made so many friendships that I know I'm going to have forever. And just so many experiences too. Like it's been such a cool experience and I'm forever grateful for it. It's also provided me so many opportunities to get interviewed for different, you know, big interview companies, big media companies, because I've been able to say that, oh, I'm a director of production. Oh, I'm an executive producer. Like
Yeah.
being able to put that on my resume really helps me stand out when I'm applying to, you know, bigger companies for internships. And, you know, just all around, personally, professionally, it's been like an unforgettable experience.
Yeah, I was just thinking to myself, like, if I don't see you like running the streets of like New York or like LA, like I'm gonna have to fight somebody because you have so much talent. Like I see your work ethic all the time. I'm always in your DMs. And then sometimes I'm like, am I annoying him? But I'm
Oh,
like,
never.
no.
You could not annoy me. No,
But I
no.
love you and I love seeing what you do. And I'm like, if you don't end up in either of those places, whether it's West Coast, East Coast, I'm gonna have to talk to somebody because how are you gonna like not give this person with this utmost of talent like the highest position? Like give him all
I
your
love you so
coins,
much.
give him the highest, like give him the top eggs. I want to see him on the top.
I
Nothing
love you so
less.
much. Thank you. No, seriously, thank you for
Nothing
saying
less.
that. I really do appreciate it. You're a star in yourself. Don't even you
I
are. Come
try.
on, created by Hafeezat. She got the photography. Like, hit her up for all your content creation needs. Like, you're a star in yourself. No, seriously, you're killing it. You're doing better than I am right now. Like, with all of your
Stop.
content creation things, you doing this. Like, I haven't been in the mental headspace to be doing all
But
this.
like
And
we said, that's okay because you're
yeah.
still doing your own thing. Like I
Mhm.
literally saw you like in a sponsored ad for Temple. I was like, oh, hey Joe. I was like, wait, is this his story or is this an ad? And I was like, that's wild. But no, like you're fine. And everything that like Joe does, like him, Temple Talk, it's all gonna be in the description box if y'all want to check it out, whether you're from Temple or not from Temple, you still want to support, it's all gonna be there. So don't worry about that. But like he's creating like amazing stuff, and I'm very excited about that. And like speaking of creation, you just graduated from the Instagram ambassadorship program. So like what was that like? Because I felt like it was a lot of behind the scenes stuff. You didn't really share something like outwardly.
Well, also, it was kind of hard to know what I could say because there were certain things that I couldn't really
Oh,
go into
okay.
because it is so involved with the product marketing and developing certain features and different things about Instagram as a whole. That's why I couldn't really promote it outside of like the PR boxes that I would get and the different like goodies and perks that I would get from working with them. But no, that experience has been it was incredible. It was such a unique experience that I had no idea I would ever get the chance to. I have to shout out my friend Olivia Osborne, who was a former student vlogger for Temple. She referred me to the program and told me about it, and she's the reason I even got to do it. So without her, I wouldn't have been able to even have the opportunity to meet the people that I've met, both the fellow ambassadors and also the top, people that work with like the creative leads and with young people at Instagram. I wouldn't be able to say I'm connected with multiple people that work at Instagram on LinkedIn. Like, I wouldn't have all of these things. Seriously, like I wouldn't have any of these things if it wasn't for her. So I really do appreciate her helping me get that and also just being a great friend. But that's my little shout out to Liv. But no,
Yeah,
the
I love her
experience,
videos.
no, she's incredible. I love her so much. But it's been a really great experience. It's so unique. I like just being able to contribute to a larger media company
Mhm.
it's insane. Like, to have a voice in that, and I'm so grateful for that opportunity. And I hope it leads to other future opportunities,
Yeah.
maybe with Instagram or with another social media company. I think it taught me a lot about product marketing and more of like the tech side, and honestly has piqued my interest in maybe working in tech and maybe
Hmm.
doing something along those lines, whether that's working on community development and creators. I recently fell into a hole of people that work with brand partnerships, so working with creators and talent and bridging the relationship with a brand. I wasn't, a lot of people don't know about those kind of jobs. I didn't know about it. And I
Yeah.
kind of fell down a hole of like different people that do that. And Liv actually knows a few people that do that. I've been meaning to reach out to them to talk to them because I'm like, I just want to know what you do because I've been watching YouTube since I was 13. I know, like, I'm obsessed with like influencers and like that creative space. I've seen how it's changed over the years. And I feel like that job would be a dream, like to get to
Yeah.
work with them.
I found that recently too. So I clicked on this person's profile because he's Nigerian, and when I see a Nigerian I click because I'm like, that's my people. But I found out that he like runs like a mini like agency of like TikTok personalities that he
Okay.
kind of manages like their brand partnerships and stuff, and he's been able to make revenue of like 1 million within like the first couple of him like months of his work, and he's like not maybe
Mm,
like a couple years older than us. And I was just
okay.
seeing that and I was like, ooh, like this is like something interesting, like what this person is doing, because he's kind of like the middleman, like you said, like between like the creators and like the brands and all those things. Like
Hmm.
that's very exciting. And I want to say this too, like because like you've done so much and we're only like what 20, 21,
Hmm.
like all those things. And maybe people might see this and like get maybe a little discouraged, and I just want like y'all to know, like, listen, it's okay wherever you're at,
Hmm.
because I don't
Absolutely.
want to put like a time limit on those things. And I catch myself putting time limits on myself sometimes when I see people who are like
Hmm.
my age or even younger getting all these opportunities, like taking these bomb ass photos or like these videos, and I'm like, I'm so limited, I feel so stuck, I feel like so like behind, all of those things. But like comparing yourself is literally like the thief of joy. Like it's such a cliche, but it's so true. And I
Mm-hmm.
always have to kind of center myself in the fact that like I'm fine where I am. I've completed so much where I am now. So whoever's completing other things, you know, that's good for them. But like
Mm-hmm.
make sure that you're proud of what you're completing now. Don't simply just keep chasing for what other people are doing, because then you're not going to be satisfied with yourself. And you're only
You
with
are
yourself at the end of the
preaching.
day.
You are preaching to the choir. Like we couldn't be like on the same page. Like literally, no, seriously. Like I need to start practicing what I preach and what you preach. Like it's no, seriously, like I'm so, it's so easy for me to tell somebody else, like, don't be so hard on yourself. Like you're doing great. Like just keep doing what you're doing. And then me to turn around and be like, they're doing that. Why aren't you doing that? Like
Yes.
look at you. Like it's so easy to beat up on yourself when you see like comparing, like you said, comparing yourself is the devil. Like it's, you can't do that.
You can't do
Everyone is on their own journey, is on their own path. We are all doing things differently at different times. We are not the same. We are all different. There's like, we're not the same. So I
that.
think, no, seriously, I think I need to start practicing what I preach. And, you know, I think I do to a certain extent,
Yeah.
but I definitely catch myself being like, you need to be doing this, you need to be doing that. And, you know, I think it's important to just understand that, you know, we're all different. We're all on our own journeys. Like all you can do is the best you can. That's it.
Yeah.
You
That's
like,
all you can do.
you can't beat yourself up for what somebody else is doing when they're not you.
Exactly. No, I
Mm-hmm.
completely agree, especially with the part of like, you know, listen to what you're telling other people. Because I
Mm-hmm.
love giving advice to people and they love taking it, but then
Same.
I can't take it myself. But then it's just like, wow, you're such a hypocrite. But then I'm like, you know, coaches don't play. So like it's okay. But then like it's not okay. You need
Yes.
to know what you're talking about too, to a certain
Mm-hmm.
extent. So definitely practicing it is
Mm-hmm.
something that I'm gonna be working on, you know, into this new year and like just overall in my future life. Even right now, just starting today. The last question, anything that we should be on the lookout for like the upcoming spring, like whether it's like the semester or just in general with your life or
Yeah. So as of right now, I think I'm taking 6 classes. I'm taking a full course load because I love to overload myself with work. I don't know, you know, like I said before, like I've been pretty good at like staying organized and like getting my work done pretty efficiently. I can't do things last minute. Like I have terrible anxiety. So I can't, no, like I cannot do things last minute. Like if a paper is due, like let's say like right now it's like what, 6 o'clock. If I had a paper due at 11:59 and I didn't start it, I would be having full blown, like I would have a full blown panic attack.
I'm
Like
complete opposite.
I cannot, like thinking like I have 6 hours to do this, I wouldn't do it. It would stress me out so much that I would, well, actually, no, I probably would do it because I would stress out more about having zero. But, you know, like thinking like, oh, I can't, I really like mentally, it's exhausting. I can't do that. So I have to almost like, I have to say it's due a week before it's actually due. So that way, like it's a trick that I do for myself. I say I have to do it by this day. I'm always trying to be like at least a week ahead. And that's what I did last semester. This semester, girl, I could not get ahead. I tried so hard to be at least a week ahead like I was last semester. It was golden. I had everything done a week before. So I was able to make plans for other things and not think like, oh, well, I have to do that. Cause you know, sometimes things are due and you can't like go to your friend's house or go to this dinner or, you know, you can't do certain things because you have things due. So I would always make sure I was on top of it. I'm already done this week. I can make plans. I can do whatever I want because I'm already looking at next week. But this semester,
No.
it was, I kept trying. I kept like making an effort where I'm like, okay, this weekend I'm going to do this. So that way I get all the work for this upcoming week done. Never happened. Never happened. It couldn't happen because I just didn't have the motivation and like the work ethic to go above and beyond. But I had enough work ethic to get my things done early enough, if that makes any sense.
That's
So
good.
that's why, like I said before, like my trick for myself is I tell myself I have to do it this day. So that way, if I procrastinate, I still have like 5 days before it's actually due. And then it gets done early because I'll procrastinate to my schedule, but it still gets done like 4 days before it's actually due.
Writes this down because I needed that because I'm
Yeah.
complete opposite where my anxiety makes me feel like I can't do anything.
Okay.
and that like I'm not gonna do well enough. So then I just avoid it to keep my peace until like I
Mhm.
kind of have to confront it. And
Mhm.
90% of the time I end up just asking for extensions because I'm like, I wasted all this time feeling
Mhm.
sad. So please give me more time so I can continue to waste it feeling sad. But I get my stuff done. Like it gets in.
Mhm.
I had a couple of zeros this semester, just a couple,
And that's fine.
but it's
We're
okay.
we're all different. Like that method for me has just it's worked for me. I
Yeah.
found something I'm like, okay, I can get this done.
Any final words before we wrap this up?
Thank you for having me. I mean, like, this is so cool. I love you so much. You already know that, but
Yeah,
this
you
this is so cool. I'm so honored to be on Hafeezat's channel.
too.
But yeah, thank you for having me. This was so cool, and I'm so glad I got to talk to you and catch up.
All right, and with that, we are done. Thank you, Joe, again for being here. Like I said, everything that he has going on with himself is going to be down in the description box below. Feel free to tip us for our time. You know the deal. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share this. Let us know how you felt about this recent entry with the COVID Diaries. Let us know how you're feeling overall with the pandemic and everything going on. We love conversations. We love it. Share social media, all those things, and we will see you very soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.
I like this little time we have together, just pause.